This is DAVID94 from Sunward Hobbies Company. I have just spotted a brand new Tamiya armor kit. It is a 1/35 scale A34 Comet. I'm about to investigate it and see if it has Tamiya's usual seal of quality. I love you too, Mom. Over and out. Let's begin. Right, so here is Tamiya's latest offering in the category of armor, the A34 Comet. Just a brief rundown of this tank. It was intended to be like a beefed up version of the Cromwell, but it eventually became its own thing. This came out basically at the very tail end of the Second World War, so it didn't see too much action in that conflict. It did, however, continue to serve with the British Army till the late 50s, and then was lend-leased to the Commonwealth countries until the 80s. So now let's take a look inside. Very first sprue here is just some clear parts. That literally all it is just lights. Next sprue here. These all seem to be molded in a khaki gray like color. So this sprue features some of the tools that are kept on the outside of the tank for if they ever needed to dig their way out of trouble. You've got a crew access hatch, some crankshafts, a radiator grill, some cylinder plates, some bulkheads. You've got a plastic tow cable. And of course the main selling point of any tank, the cannon. This particular one is a 17-pounder. The barrel is all one piece, except for the front muzzle. Next sprue here is some parts of the body. This is the outer wall where all the track wheels go. Some sidewalls, some, I think they call them skirt plates. Think of them as like mud flaps on a truck. Some more armored plating. The turret mount. And the fabric covering where the cannon and the tank meet. So far the molding looks very nice. I wouldn't expect anything less from Tamiya. You've got recessed panel lines and raised rivets. Third plastic sprue here, more of the tank body. You've got the front and rear armor plates here. The top half. And always a welcome addition, some figures. Very nicely molded. Looks nice so far. And last bag of sprues right here. This is of course where you'll find your link tracks as well as the road wheels and the road wheel arms that they attach to. Plus you've got some other miscellaneous items. For instance, the tow cable eyelets. I believe this is a little helmet for one of the figures. If that is what I think it is, then that's very neat. It's also worth mentioning that this is one of those tanks where the link tracks are, for the most part, all one piece. And this last sprue here is pretty much a repeat of the previous one. So that's all the plastic parts. As always, comes with instructions. If any model didn't, you'd have a problem. Some useless tech tips, and a little biography on the tank itself, plus some color illustrations in the back. Now, I'll admit I'm not the best at tank history, but I do find it a little odd that this is a British tank, yet it would have US style markings on it. But please feel free to correct us. And here's your decal sheet. Very tiny. Basically all you'll get is that one star. Some, well, I normally call it nose art on planes, but I guess you just call it tank art here. And some stencils. Moving on to the instruction book, standard Tamiya layout. You'll start in the interior, and like with most tanks, there's really not much interior to speak of.
Hello?
Hi.
Then you'll move on to the wheels and the tracks. You assemble the defense machine gun. And mount the turret mount. Basically assembling most of the body together. And then you got the wheels going on. It looks like there's about 20 to 22 wheels on this tank. Not including the drive sprockets. And the fun part, attaching the link track. And then basically attaching the armor plating. They call it fenders here. And all the storage equipment. more storage equipment, tow cable. The rear cowling. Then you get on to the main turret itself. And this is Tamiya, so you should have no problem putting all this together. It's literally almost like Lego. And then you attach some detail parts on the turret, the canvas cover, then the cannon itself, and the storage box behind the turret, and then the spotlight. Attach the turret on top, some more accessories. And yes, that was a helmet, but it goes on the side, not on the figures. And then your painting guide for the figures. You got a loader and a commander. Then basically just finishing touches, attaching the access hatches and putting the figures into position. And that's it. Looks good to me. In conclusion, how much more praise can I give Tamiya? It's another very nicely molded kit. It should go together beautifully, and from what I understand, there aren't that many depictions of this particular tank out there, so this is actually somewhat of a rare commodity. So why not pick one up for yourself today at Sunward Hobbies, in store or online. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, adios.